If you had to give the word discipline a definition, what would you say it is?
Is keeping yourself accountable for something that you say you're going to do, and you're going to do it no matter what, because nobody asks how you feel.
I'm a model, actress, content creator, and digital entrepreneur.
Are there any influences on this level of work ethic?
It's my higher self. How would you describe yourself in 3 adjectives?
Hungry, determined. The last one, strange word, but I'll say it anyway. Frustrated. There are a lot of things that need to get done.
I mean, a lot of things happen, but I had this phase of I just don't have the strength to do absolutely anything. Like, I don't have the strength to do content. I don't have the strength to reply to emails. Just reply to emails. I literally took a step back.
I was diagnosed with severe generalized anxiety disorder. The cognitive behavioral therapy training teaches you to distinguish what is the anxiety and what is you.
Hi guys, welcome on the Inspire Creator series with Diego and Marygrace. Do you like it? Is that good?
I love it. Keep going. Don't stop at all.
So my name is Marygrace. I am a model, actress, content creator, and digital entrepreneur. And Diego, I'm going to leave you the mic.
My name is Diego Zalata, co-founder and CEO of Inspire, and very proud and excited to be here with Marygrace on episode 6 of the Inspire Creator series.
Nice.
Amazing. All right, well, let's kick off. So for anyone watching, I'll set a little bit of context. Marygrace and I met. We did an initial interview using a web conference.
Yeah.
And then Marygrace, correct me if I'm wrong, you took a look at the absolutely poor quality of that output.
No, okay, it wasn't a good output. It's just there was everything happening in that call because it was your door at the back. Kept slamming it. I don't know. Some people were doing some work next to me in my house. I was like, honestly, of course it had to be today. Then the internet disappeared for I don't know, 20 good minutes or something.
Quick random question. I was watching that interview back on the way here.
Tell me.
Was there some sort of tent next to you or some sort of TP thing? Or did I just completely make that up?
Basically, no. So I was on social media, and there were these people that were offering the backdrops of photography studios for free.
Oh, amazing.
And they had tons of colors, and it was 10 of them.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was wasting it to say, not say, I'm going to get them.
Yeah,
and I'm going to use them for
thrifty,
my content.
Thrifty, very thrifty.
Right. So I was because normally they cost £100, no, maybe even more, 150.
Yeah. A good one, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what, let me grab them. So I went on Uber on the other side of London. I grabbed them. And the Uber guy was like, I'm doing it just for you. I was like, I'm going to give you a tip because of it. So and then he came back home and I was like, I don't know where to put them. I'm going to put them in the bedroom. I don't have any other space. So, yeah, that's why.
I can't believe we had the whole interview and I didn't even realize there was this thing behind you. I was noticing back. I was like, what was that?
I don't know where to put them. I have these different backdrops.
Okay, so we had that interview.
Yeah.
And at what point did you then decide that you wanted to up the quality of what was taking place on that call?
I think because my camera wasn't the best, connection wasn't the best either. So I said, why not level up the content,
And here we are in Cube, Canary Wharf. Marygrace has kindly allocated some time for us to use a very, very cool studio.
It is really cool.
So getting Marygrace's email was absolutely amazing. Okay, so first question I have for you.
Tell me.
In terms of how we initially met, you received an email from our team.
Yeah.
Outlining that we have a startup. It's called Inspire.
Mm-hmm.
And we need help getting the word out.
Yeah. What
led you to reply to that email?
What led me to reply? I don't know. I just felt like I was going with the vibe. Okay, what led me to reply? First of all, I think it's really great that as the word it says, inspire. I believe that one of your mission as a company is to inspire people. Mm-hmm. And if it's not, it should be. But yeah, I think it was really nice. And if I could be of help, why not?
Do you receive a lot of emails?
Yes.
Things?
Yes, I do.
So
I do.
What was happening on this particular day that suddenly...
I don't know. I was in a really good mood.
Okay. Got you on the right time.
You really did. Funny enough. Yeah. Okay, this is going to sound really weird, but I basically met this weird guy in the streets that was I can read the palm of your hand. And I was like, okay. Sure.
There you go.
And he was like, you're gonna be really successful. And I didn't tell him what I do at all.
Okay.
So he said, you're gonna be really successful in your work. You're gonna have something to do with public, and you will manage people under you.
Yeah.
And your color is red and black. I was like, okay. And I don't know, I left that I was in a really good mood. So I was like, yeah, why not? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna be
Oh,
successful.
so this was all on the day that we...
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah.
Wow. Okay. In terms of all these emails you get, all these requests for help that you get, has there been other times when you've replied or donated your time to help a cause or something similar?
I have a few times, but I also rejected a few others. I think also depends from the type of content that's going to be discussed, which is really important for me. For example, I don't really talk about my dating life. I don't know, it's really just, it's my private things.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's like work related, I love that.
Okay.
So
Have you ever had someone help you throughout your journey? You've been doing this for so long now.
no, sadly, I'm still looking for it.
Really?
Yes.
Never throughout the... Wow, that's crazy.
I always have to do everything on my own. Which is why I have a problem with delegating work as well.
That
But
really
I'm
blows
learning.
my mind.
Yes.
When you say you do everything on your own, like
Yeah.
walk me through... Let's say current state, current age, current
Yeah.
approach to work. What is that? What are you, from beginning to end, what are you doing on your own?
What I'm doing on my own. So I'm 22 years old. I model. So whenever I have self-tapes or I have a brief coming on, or I have to go on a shoot, I do that. Recording videos as a content creator or planning strategies, I do that.
Yeah.
Unless I have a videographer that like I really cannot shoot for my own. For example, when I was at London Fashion Week and I had to catwalk, there was no way I could bring in a camera. So I just paid my videographer and said, come on board and help me out. What else? With my agency, unless I hire people to like manage content, but yeah, I mean, creating strategies, how to do it, etc., talking to clients, I do it, sending emails, getting represented, making sure my image is on top, all of this kind of stuff, negotiating, checking out contracts, yeah. But that's how I learned though, I don't mind that.
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
When did you, to do that level of work, you would require confidence in your ability to get up to speed
Yeah,
and then execute.
yeah.
What's your earliest memory of executing like this from beginning to end?
So, I've always been really good at school. So I've always been a nerd that has all A stars and all this kind of stuff. So I've always been really good at planning, organizing, and executing. But I feel like in the workspace is a completely different area. And I think what really helped me personally, it was the second year of university, because I didn't do anything of what I do. I was completely starting out and I was giving out my exams, but I will give them literally like 20 days or 15 days before the deadline. So I had the other time to work. And
You're that student. That's
I am a
amazing.
student.
I'm so jealous of you already.
I am the student. But on my defense, I was studying marketing, so it's not that hard, like to an extent. So,
Marketing students out there are just gutted right now.
So I was doing that, and in the meantime, I allowed myself to work. And I don't know how I did it, but I remember I built this discipline. I remember I had once a shoot that lasted until, like, it started at like 8 a.m. and it will finish at 8 p.m. that day. And the day before, I had an exam that was like literally in class. And in the night, my friend broke up with a long distance boyfriend, whatever it was. So she was like, you have to come out with me to the club. And I was like, I have work tomorrow. I cannot go out with you to the club. She was like, please, I was there for you when you broke up. I was like, okay, fine. So I remember, I don't know how, I literally slept an hour.
Yeah.
And then I went to work and I smashed it. And I was like, that's discipline. I was like, I'm proud of you, Marygrace. That's real discipline. So I think, yeah, that really helped, I guess.
Have you got like protocols and processes and ways that you approach upskilling quickly?
Yes.
Walk me through those.
I do. Depends what I'm doing. But like, for example, I find something that really helps me a lot is reading. I read quite a lot. I don't know, and I train my memory. Also, I don't know, I don't really have time for myself. Like I do, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I have those, like, I don't know, an hour in the evening off for myself, like while I watch something, I also train my mind on other things in the meantime. This is going to sound really weird. I know.
It's fascinating.
But yeah, for example, I have like mind games or Sudoku or some kind of stuff like this that keeps my brain like that. I don't know. It just helps.
Why?
It's confusing in here. I don't know. It just does.
Is doing these things, like in working in this way, does this require discipline?
Yeah. And it's hard. Like I'm not disciplined all the time. Like something I struggle with, for example, is going to the gym. I really struggle with that. But yeah, like working wise, I push myself to do it.
If you had to give the word discipline a definition, what would you say it is?
Word discipline is keeping yourself accountable for something that you say you're gonna do, and you're gonna do it no matter what, because nobody asks how you feel.
Huge. When have you always been aware of that definition, or did you just find out about that right now?
No, yeah, that's what I believe it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did that form for you?
Through time, experiences. I think experiences led me to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been like rejected in every type of work, been going good with business, bad, same with modeling, same with acting, same with content creation. And I think at a certain point, especially content creation, for example, you have to post every day, especially if your audience is used to that. And there are those days where you don't want to film, like you don't want to, you just want to be in bed and maybe watch Netflix, or you just want to go out, you want to do shopping, something, I don't know. But especially if you have like a specific niche, you have to drag yourself there and do it. So you're going to allocate that time to do it. Or you can also pick a day during the week and record everything that week, so you're ready for the ones that have to come.
Are there any influences on this level of work ethic? Like, is there family members that come to mind, or a character you saw in a movie or a book?
Funny enough, it's my higher self.
Tell me more about that.
So I imagine how I want to be like in 10 years or 15 years time.
Yeah.
So I think, what is she doing? How is she acting? How will she reply to this situation? And that's my ideal version. So you have to be really specific about it. And I thought about it really, really well. And I think about it multiple times, especially when I meditate as well. So work related, I'm like, will she sit on her ass watching Netflix, or she be sending out emails and do the work that she's supposed to do? Because that's who I want to be. So that's who I aspire to be.
With your higher self, can you see her?
Yes. I can imagine her. Yeah.
What I want to see. I want to see what you see. Is she standing in front of you, facing you? Is she like what are we seeing here?
Okay, what do I see? I see she has multiple businesses. She has multiple teams under her. So she manages, but she doesn't work in it. She switches between sets, between movies and modeling as well. And she's really organized, keeps herself, like she's really private. Like she knows how to balance herself off in different situations. Yeah, that's how I see it.
Do you ever... The reason I ask this question, for example, is I also see my higher self sometimes.
What's yours?
My higher self is basically me plus 10 years. And he kind of has like you ever see Iron Man?
Yeah.
He has like a Tony Stark kind of like goatee kind of thing going.
Okay.
But whenever I'm like stressed or worried, I imagine like this figure of myself in those years standing next to me. And he just looks at me like, yeah.
I love that.
That's what that is.
Love that.
He's like, he'll just stand next to me, and then the higher self will give me the comfort that I need, and then it's execute again.
I love that.
With your higher self, is it something you see in front of you or only in your mind? Like, how does that work?
I see it in front of me. And it's normally like
She's there. Like,
if
not
I
now,
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. I'm not crazy, by the way.
It's both crazy.
But yeah, especially when there is something that like I struggle with, I really see it there, and she's like, "What are you doing?" do you want like the life that you're imagining it or not? Because if not, then stay there.
And let's say we were talking to her right now and she was the third person in this interview.
Yeah.
What are her goals? Like what was it all for? What is it all for?
What is it all for? She will probably say being like mentally healthy. I think that's really important for her, like peace and serenity, and happy with what she does. That's the biggest goal, no matter like who she has around and whatever.
So the achievement of all these things, are you saying they give her peace, or she is at peace doing all these things?
No, she's at peace doing these things.
I love that.
She's at peace doing these things.
I think...
Tell me.
Let's get deep. No, the reason I love that so much, right, is because just from like a calculation standpoint, I have trouble fathoming an end goal and just being happy with that goal. I feel like it's the journey, right? So when you describe being at peace throughout, it's like, okay, you're gearing up to develop the skills and the habits and the behaviors that ultimately will make things will feel easy and smooth, and you're like in flow. Yeah, basically. I'm
happy about what I do. And it doesn't have to be easy, but as long as I'm happy while doing it.
Yeah.
Like personally, yeah, I care about the end goal, but not as much as the process. And same is with everything that I do. I like, and I think I said that, I think you posted it real. Like I do everything because I like it, and I think it's really important for me to make sure that I enjoy it. Otherwise, I might as well go work for a company at this point, you know?
Do you ever feel like you wish you didn't have this drive?
Sometimes. Like I like it a lot about me, but that also brings a lot of expectations from people, even when I don't give them. Like I found myself in different situations without really, and I don't know if that is a matter of age, because I do many things at my age, I don't know. But since I was a kid, people always expected the best, whether it's strangers, whether it's family, like, and, you know, it's cool from one side because I expect the best from me, but from the other, it's, you know, you feel the pressure.
Why do they expect the best?
Because I've always been used to be...
Oh, you're the achiever.
I'm the achiever in the family. I'm the achiever.
Because this ties in with that.
And I'm the oldest as well, you know? So...
How many siblings again?
2.
Yeah, you are the example.
You know, and they hate that. So.
You are the example.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy being an older sibling?
Oh!
I mean, let's push that button. Go on.
Okay. So, no, I love it from one side because I'm the oldest. It's cool, you know?
It's 2 brothers, right?
A brother and a sister.
A brother and a sister. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and I have, and we all have like, completely different personalities.
Yeah.
Similar in some things, but completely different in others. Okay. Like, I'm the really extrovert. My brother is kind of an extrovert too. My sister, completely introvert.
Okay.
My sister doesn't care about, like, career. My brother, not as much. Like, he really, like, is focused on family, for example. Yeah, he's, like, the kind that you really want to get. He has a better dating life than me, actually. Wow. He's about to turn 2 years with a girlfriend. I'm like, great for you. You know, you're the youngest one. It's okay.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. My sister is still young, but yeah, we all have completely different personalities. Why do I like it? I like it because, you know, I'm the oldest. Like, the oldest are the best. But, obviously. But, I don't know, sometimes they see me as the mom. So I had to switch this button of like, you know, I'm your friend, I'm not your mom. Even if many times I was like, that's what you did? Okay. Sure, I'm not going to tell mom. 100%. I was like, yeah, of course you can trust me.
Wait, are you saying there are moments when you want to mom them?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
So really you're reminding yourself that you're their sibling?
Yeah, as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting.
Do you have any siblings?
I've got 2 siblings.
Older or younger?
Younger.
So you're also the oldest.
I'm also. That's the thing. That's why I'm asking. I'm also the oldest. I was talking to a friend.
How do you feel about it?
I love it, but I have a slightly unique story in the sense that I always wanted siblings.
I love that.
And I always wanted siblings. And I was 15 and it was my birthday. And my mom and my dad separated when I was very young. And there wasn't really much contact there.
Okay.
And on my 15th birthday, I made a wish in the morning and it was, I want siblings.
I love that.
And then that afternoon, my auntie called me and said, oh, you won't believe what's happened. Oh, the secrecy. Oh, my God. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, can you go through anything you've received from South America and see if there's any photos of kids in those? I was like, that's a weird
That's a weird request.
So I would receive a lot of stuff, but I wasn't connected with the family at that point, so I didn't know any of these things. So I just pulled out this box of things I just put in. And there's a picture of these two really cute kids there. I just assumed cousins. And I turned it over and it says, I'm talking with my auntie, and I said, it says Joshua and Fabiana. And she's like, those aren't your cousins, man. Those are your siblings.
Oh, wow.
And so that was probably one of the happiest days of my life. So
I love that.
I love being an older brother. And
I love
an
that.
absolute blessing. So
It's funny you say that. You know how I wanted my brother? I always wanted a brother.
Yeah,
and I didn't want a female. I wanted like a male brother. I wanted a brother. And my mom was like, you need to pray to Jesus every night that you want a brother. So for a whole year, I was praying before going to sleep. Please, Jesus, give me a brother. Yeah. And then my mom got pregnant eventually. And she gave me a brother, And I was like, that's it. See, manifestations since I was 5.
100%.
So, yeah.
Wow. The reason I was asking you about your work ethic is because, when you work with other... Because people ultimately, I think, work differently and they have to find what works for them.
Yeah.
When you engage with others in your kind of line of work, how does your work ethic compare to others? How does your work... Sorry, let's use the word work style. How does your work style compare to others?
So work ethic is the same for everybody. Work style is a bit different. I think each one of them requires me to be a different version of myself. Because if I'm in a business meeting, I'm not going to talk about how I modeled for a brand today. And it happened actually that I was in this big conference and they were all men. It was like 25 people. And I was the only girl. And everybody was like millionaires and they were like 35, 40, 50. And, when you're one of these tables, you want to think about what you say twice. So I was like, I was like, okay. So there I was one person. Yeah. When I create content and I find myself like at events of that type, you want to be, you want to be yourself, but you also want to be an extrovert. You don't want to be the one sitting on a sofa in a corner, minding her own business with a phone. So you want to interact with people, make sure you leave a good impression, etc. If it's modeling is a bit tricky. I think you need to be professional at the same time, put on the brave face. Oh my God, I love this. This is amazing. Even because you don't know what the client is expecting, you don't know how the team is. So yeah, I think it depends from each category.
And within each of those categories, I want to ask you about confidence.
Yeah.
You are confident. Sorry, that's not my place to say.
I believe I am. I don't know.
You believe? Okay, cool. Well, you believe you are confident. To me, you come across as very confident. Has that always been like that?
No, I think I built it throughout time. I was bullied when I was a kid. I had a lot of things in my childhood that are not really pleasant. And that really built me a really, really strong character that I developed on further on. And I think even situations, failments, all of this really helped me to be as I am.
No, I'm going to leave that one. Confidence comes from execution, learning, and then what? Eventually succeeding?
I think you can, when you prove to yourself, to your own body, and to your mind that you can do something. Like, for example, I'm going to take you as an example. So you said you're starting out with Premiere Pro, right? You don't feel extremely confident around with Premiere Pro compared to someone that has been there for years. But if you edit every day on Premiere Pro, in a year, you will feel way more confident than you are now. Why? Because you prove yourself that you can actually learn how to do it. And if you put your mind to it, you can actually understand and execute. So that gives you confidence.
I want to ask you about quality control.
Okay.
last time we spoke, you talked a little bit about, I think each of the social channels gets a different side of you, right?
Yeah.
YouTube gets...
Personality.
Yeah. Instagram.
Work.
TikTok.
Bit of both.
What are the other channels you prioritize?
There is Snapchat as well, but
Yeah.
these are the main three.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And you also talked about wanting to deliver quality to the individuals following you.
Yes.
What does quality mean?
So as long as I'm providing value, and that can be information, can be, I don't know, entertainment, for example, for personality-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, like, I like that whoever is watching the video is not watching shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like there is so much stuff going on the internet lately. Like, there was this trend going viral on TikTok about literally bottles falling off stairs. And they had like 12 million likes. So it was like, I don't know, 133 million views. And I was like, it's literally bottles going downstairs. I was like, I don't understand. But yeah, so I don't know. I think it's interesting.
So value, is it informational value?
Yeah, most of the time.
Okay.
That I prefer, yeah.
And
Whether it's motivation or learning something new or, yeah.
how would you describe those categories? So motivation.
Yeah, motivation is one of them.
Yeah.
Literally learning something about a subject. It could be confidence, it could be about the modeling industry, it could be about acting. Because I feel like even when I do a vlog
Mm-hmm.
and there's like more personality, I still showcase things that you will normally not know.
Mm-hmm.
So recently, for example, I had this crazy shoot that was really well paid, but I had to pretend to be pregnant. So they put this half pillow and I was like, I don't want my face in that. I was like, you better cut that face out. And they're like, oh no, we won't. But it was so hilarious. And I was like, this is the kind of stuff that can happen. Be prepared, because not everybody has the same personality. Maybe some people will be like, oh no, I didn't sign up for this and that will cause problems, etc., etc. So
okay, so you did the shoot. You had to pretend
yeah.
that you were having a baby.
Yeah.
You've talked about this to your followers.
Yes.
Okay. And in a way that outlines you didn't love the process.
I just put as a title, crazy thing that happened to me as a model in the past week, because there were more than that. That wasn't the only example, sadly, this past month. But
okay.
yeah.
Is there ever any kind of hesitation like that?
Yes, always, all the time.
The ones who were part of the shoot might see that and feel like, oh, hey.
I've warned them from before. For the pregnancy thing, I told them. I was like,
Nice.
by the way, guys, I'm going to put this on the social media because I think this is so fun, And they were like, oh, yeah, tag. I was like, yeah, 100%. I still haven't posted on Instagram.
Nice. Okay.
But I don't know if I'll post it. But because I have a job that is pending on one of the things that I posted on YouTube, so I'm just waiting. But I posted on YouTube and TikTok. And yeah, I mean, there is always the hesitation of like, should I post this? Should I not post this? But I'm like, you know what, whatever. Don't let me do it then. Hire someone that's pregnant. Like
that opens up an entirely other topic. Yeah. And because that barometer is really important, right? Like the boundaries.
A lot.
Really important.
A lot.
What's your journey with boundaries been like? Can you remember the first time or the first-ish time where you had to kind of exercise boundaries?
I think it started out since beginning of like 3 months before 2023. That's when it started.
Okay.
Like mid 2022, kind of like that. Because I started having like a lot of clients following me, so they will see every single thing that I posted, and that's why like it's not as fun as it used to be. Because before I didn't care if it was like a stupid trend, I would just post it. Didn't care if I got views. I didn't care if anybody could say like I was doing it because I was fun. Now it became work, so I need to select what I want to have fun with, in terms of content. And yeah, before posting, I always think of myself, is this something that makes sense? Even because brands, something that I learned as a content creator, they don't really care as much about views, but they care a lot about quality of the video. So even if you don't get a lot of views, they will boost the video anyway, because I have to show, that they get views, but as long as it's great quality.
When you want to deliver this value to your fans.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a trade-off between I could get this done today if I didn't deliver as much value versus, I want to deliver value, so I'm going to take longer to post this thing?
It happened the second way around.
Okay.
Yeah. Depends. I mean, now I'm thinking about a bit less.
Yeah.
But most of the time I'm like, no, he has to, like, why am I posting then?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I posted on Instagram for like a week and a half or something.
Okay. Has anyone reached out and concerned?
But we move on.
Okay. Are we allowed to talk about your idea?
What idea?
Your podcast idea?
Oh my, no, don't.
You don't want to leave that up? Don't let that in.
No, just know that I will release soon a podcast. So stay tuned. You'll see. And let me know in the comments if you want Diego to be on the podcast as well.
Wait, so you're definitely doing this podcast?
I am doing the podcast.
I love that. That execution.
See?
That went from like a mid-break, like I might do this, to I'm doing it right now.
See?
That's how you roll. Okay,
That's
cool.
not wrong, yeah.
Okay. I've got some rapid fire questions for you.
Go for it.
Okay, you got to just... Okay.
Straight away? Okay.
Straight away.
Go for it.
3 songs that make you dance.
I don't know, the one from Rihanna, Don't Stop the Music. That's what I was listening while on my way here. I don't know, the one from Drake, One Dance.
Nice.
I don't know, any from Doja Cat.
From the what?
Doja Cat.
Oh, Doja Cat? Yeah.
Any from her. She,
Doja Cat.
yeah.
3 movies that pump you up.
Pump me up. Oh, the Wolf of Wall Street. Good movie. That pump me up. I don't think I have other 2.
Oh, just Wolf of Wall Street.
Because I normally like watch TV shows eventually, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm watching at the moment?
What do you
The Office. Oh my God.
American or British?
The American one.
Okay. Is it good?
Hilarious. Hilarious.
Never seen them.
Literally.
Have you seen the British one?
No.
Okay.
Is there a British one? Oh, that's gonna be.
Is there a
my
British
outfit.
one?
I don't know.
Okay, so I know nothing about The Office, but I can tell you it started as a British series.
I
And then like
see.
many amazing things that got copied. So I'm so
see.
fascinated to hear what your fans are going to say when they
Fair
realize you
enough.
didn't know
Sorry,
they were
guys.
No disrespect.
Actually, I have more followers from the US.
Oh,
So in my defense,
then 100%.
in my defense,
This is about value.
you know.
Okay. 3 movies or TV shows that make you feel something.
Make me feel something, anything. La La Land, obviously. I actually watched the new one. How is it called? Not new one, but it's like it just got on Netflix. I think it's called Crazy Stupid Love. I've never watched it. I was like,
Never
but this
seen
is
that?
epic. When I watched it, I was like,
Good.
so good, right? I was
Well
like,
done. Oh my
why
God.
have I never watched this?
So many scenes. And it's also so rewatchable as well.
Right? I was like, I love it. I just love it.
What are this is actually not related to the rapid fire thing, but like, what are some scenes that come to mind that you liked?
Serious.
No, like
Scenes in the movie.
Crazy Stupid Love, yeah.
When he found out that it was the daughter, I did not expect it at all. I was like, no way. I was like,
good.
epic.
So
I was like, epic. Another thing, I think I really like the scene where they were supposed to have sex, but they didn't, and they ended up talking the whole night. I was like, he's gonna fall in love so deeply. I was like, she was a bitch. She knew exactly what she was doing. I was like, deserves. You know, I was like, respect to her.
that was really sweet.
And then I got told, apparently, that they were saying in interviews in bloopers that when she was supposed to do the dance and she got up, she could not do it.
Oh.
Because basically, when she was young, she had this,
Back thing?
yeah.
Oh, poor thing.
So there was another, how do you call it?
Oh, was it a
Stunt.
double?
It was a double. Who did it? Because she started crying. The moment he picked her up in real scene, she started panicking and crying and started like, I don't know if she knocked him out, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I love him, Mr. What energizes you?
What energizes me? My family, but not too much, because otherwise it gets too overwhelming to a certain extent. My family, doing creative things, I really like that. And spending time on my own. That really energizes me a lot. Like, I need my me time.
Okay. When you're doing your you time, what are you doing?
Even just literally being in bed and doing absolutely nothing.
Nice.
Just can be anything, literally. As long as just me not talking to anybody and just, recharging.
I love that. Hours a week dedicated to your socials.
How is it a week?
Hours, yeah.
Oh, hours.
Number of hours.
I think like 1 hour max a day.
Okay. Have you, with a drive like yours, have you ever experienced burnout?
Yes, all the time.
All the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to learn how to take a step back.
How do you know you're on the verge of burnout?
How do I know? When I get really tired and I cannot be bothered to do absolutely anything. Like, absolutely anything. That's how I know I'm burnt out. Because I love what I do. So the moment I'm like, I cannot be bothered to do it. Like, okay, what about I'm not be bothered? I'm like, okay, I'm burnt out. And I learned that last year because I had this phase where, I mean, a lot of things happened, but I had this phase of, I just don't have the strength to do absolutely anything. Like, I don't have the strength to do content. I don't have the strength to reply to emails, just reply to emails. Like, I could not do absolutely anything. So then when I went to Mexico, I picked everything separately because I also questioned myself, maybe I don't like what I do anymore. And that's fine, but I just need to know it. So I picked everything individually. So I remember I had a casting call for a movie. So I did the casting and I liked it. It was really weird, but I really liked it. So I was like, okay, it's not acting. Modeling, I had a shoot. I loved it. I was like, okay, it's not modeling. Content creation, I took it lightly. I didn't do any brand deals. I said no to everything. I said, I'm going to do content just because I want to. So if I want to post a dance, I'll post it. If I don't want to post for a week, I won't. And I loved it. So I was like, okay, then it's not content creation either. Same with business. I had like a few meetings and it was really creative as well, the talks. So I was like, yeah, I still love, being in this industry. So I was like, okay, that's not either. I was like, then I'm just burned out. So I literally took a step back, and the whole time I was in Mexico, I was doing what I had to do, but I was going with the flow. So if I didn't want to do it, I would stop. I literally let loose. So I would go out, I would, if I wanted to go to the gym, I would go. If I didn't want to go, I didn't go. If I wanted to get an ice cream, I'll get an ice cream. I was like, whatever, just living day by day. And that helped a lot because when I came back in London, I was like on top of it for everything.
It sounds like it happens
Often.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's overwhelming. I do many things. It's normal.
I mean, it's normal, actually.
I'm not a robot. So.
And each time it happens, how are you approaching that?
I take a week off. And I do whatever. Either I go to my family or I spend it in London doing whatever. Like, I need to take a step back.
How many times a year would you say that happens to you?
3.
3? Okay.
So as long as I have a break and then I come back, I'm good.
And in those 3 times, because burning out, that not wanting to do anything, directly conflicts with what you said earlier about if you're going to post, you're going to post. So how are you talking to yourself in those situations?
It's hard because I'm really critical within myself. Like, I'm not easy on myself at all. And it's something I'm still working on. But I'm really autocritical and I judge myself a lot. Especially, like, basically most about it is work related. I'm like, you should have done more, or you could have done better, or you should do this, you should not be in bed right now. And I'm learning. Like, I think this summer I hit the break where I was like, you know what? It's okay. Because whenever I was taking time off, I would feel horrible about myself. Like, horrible. And this is because I rarely take breaks. So I was like, I don't know, I feel horrible, but this cannot happen. Like, if I want a day off, it's fine. If I be in bed and I watch Netflix, or if I do something else, it's okay. So I had to have that conversation with myself that I still have. Like, I haven't achieved that yet. I'm on the way. But I'm like, it's okay. There's nothing wrong.
Do you see your successful execution of these conversations as something to master?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
That's really interesting. I think it's great that you do that, and I think it's really admirable that you do that and that you openly talk about it, because I feel something I've learned is everyone has a different way of working.
Yeah. What's yours?
Mine is I can work myself like a horse, but if there's anything that feels personal, that requires processing time, I will absolutely do that. So, for example, when you were talking about if you're going to post, you're going to post, I have some things I need to do today. But, I've got a lot on. Not as much as you do, but I know that it would be nice to just finish the day here and then go home, maybe watch a movie. And I'm going to do that. Yeah. And then tomorrow, 4 a.m., half marathon, get to work kind of thing.
Crazy. Fair.
The gym. Not your best friend.
I try.
Fascinating.
I try, but I
Yeah.
have to drag myself there all the time.
Okay.
And it's really interesting because actually when I was 16,
Mm-hmm.
I had this like year where I was at the gym every single day. I think I had the best physique in the whole time.
Did you enjoy?
Yes, a lot. I
Okay.
loved it.
Okay.
I loved it. And I always used to do gym and then swimming for an hour and
Mm-hmm.
then coming back home. And I had to walk for like 45 minutes back and forth from each. I don't know how I did it, but I
loving it.
did it. And then I think when I stopped was when I moved in my new house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I don't find the gym crazy inspiring. Because before I used to live in Waterloo and I had the gym that was like 30 minutes from me. So I always like the fact that I have to walk there and come back. So I would walk there, do cardio, do weights, whatever, then swim for 40 minutes, meditate, steam room, whatever, and then walking all the way back. So I felt like,
Yeah.
even if I did it 4 times a week and not every day, I still did quite a lot.
Yeah.
And now it's literally like 5 minutes from my house. And yeah, I don't know, it's just a bit, it's really like closed as well.
Why does the gym get a free pass from the Marygrace Determination Marathon? But none
Good
of
question.
it does?
I don't know. I just feel, to be honest, it could be the fact that I'm really good in my body. Like I don't have any
Yeah.
insecurity with it. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't really care. Like it's not something that I am obsessed over.
Mm-hmm.
Whether work-wise, I really care about it a lot.
Mm.
So I think that's the difference. I feel like if I wasn't secure about my body or like I will have something that will make me really comfortable, probably I will work
Yeah.
non-stop, I think. I don't know.
I also imagine, because you're so focused,
Hmm.
something you highlighted to me in our last chat was there's a huge synergy between everything you do. Everything kind of feeds in.
Yeah.
And it almost sounds like that isn't something you necessarily require. Because for some
Yeah.
people, the gym is,
Yeah.
let's say, a way of bridging insecurity. Or
Literally.
a way of building habits. Or
Yeah.
a way of giving their life structure.
Yeah.
You have all these things already.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool, that makes sense. This is a slightly silly question.
Tell me.
It's a vulnerable question more for me.
Tell me.
Anime.
Ooh. Do you watch anime?
No, I don't.
Oh my God.
But I really want to.
You really should. You really should.
I feel like our minds are kind of similar. Once I can see the nuances, I can see the beauty in it, and then I can get into it.
Yeah.
Tell me about your journey with anime. What was the first
I've
one?
been watching since I was a kid. I've always been a fan.
Yeah.
Always been, always will be. I think they are amazing.
Okay.
Like amazing. And the stories, crazy stories. Like
Yeah.
crazy stories. Each anime that I watch, I'm like, oh man, I was like amazing. But one of the things I love the most actually is the values that you learn. You know how many values you learn from animes? It's insane, like family, loyalty, respect. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, yeah, that's how it should be, you know?
Favorite animes?
Favorite animes. So Kodocha is not really well known. It's for few.
Okay.
Whoever knows it gets a follow.
Ooh. Gets
One
a
Piece, yeah,
follow.
because it deserves. It deserves.
Okay.
One Piece,
Okay.
masterpiece. Naruto, masterpiece. Sword Art Online, another masterpiece. Oh my God, how is it called? There's this anime
Yeah.
that is basically, it's really, when you basically tell these stories to people that never watched anime, they think you're crazy, you know?
Yeah.
But when you watch it, it's actually really insane. There's this anime that basically is an alien
Yeah.
coming to like Earth,
Yeah.
and he is an octopus, a yellow octopus,
Okay.
and he has to teach this class. I can't remember the title. Oh my God, this is annoying. He has to teach this class maths. And also, at the same time, they have to learn how to kill him.
Okay.
So the government, with FBI and whatever, basically instructs the class, which is the worst class in the whole school,
Yeah.
that they have to learn how to kill him. So in each lesson, basically they try to kill him, and he has amazing things that he ends up with every time, and it's sad as fuck at the end.
Wait. So this little octopus, yellow octopus guy, is he's trying to teach a class.
Yes. It's insane. You have to watch it.
I'm imagining scenes like he's there trying to teach, and like there's like ninja stars, like
Literally.
What? Why is he doing this?
I don't think they ever gave a reason, I think.
Okay.
Or maybe they do at the end that he just wants to die or something like that.
Right.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
But it's epic. It's really epic.
What was the first one you ever saw that like got you into anime?
The first one that I ever saw, I think first one, probably Dragon Ball
That I can't connect.
deserves that as well. Just recently rewatched it like a month ago. I rewatched all of them again.
All of them.
Of course.
What?
Of course.
That is one of the coolest things I've ever heard in my life. What, you just had like spare time and you were just like...
No, I do it while I work. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm like, you know?
Did that, total random, did that by any chance pump you up?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I'm like, yeah, that's actually, you know. Or while I cook or while I eat, this kind of stuff, yeah.
Favorite Dragon Ball moments?
Favorite drum? How can I pick?
Oh,
Favorite? From which, first or which one?
Some that... okay. So this is,
You
this
see?
is... Okay, this is where I'm not that cool. I'm only into the Z. No, I'd be into the other ones. I just never really had the time.
Okay, Z.
No, but go from everything.
What is your favorite from Z?
I mean, obviously, the first Goku transformation was just I like to wake up and I like to run either 15 kilometers or a half marathon. Mm-hmm. But Dragon Ball Z always makes an appearance when I'm running.
I love that.
Like, I'm watching a movie. I'm watching. First transformation was amazing. Obviously, actually, the transformations, the Gohan one,
Yeah,
as
that
well.
was pretty epic.
Oh, that was so sad as well. Have you ever seen, it's like prequels? It's when you get to see Trunks and how he first became Super Saiyan.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
The opening scene
Yeah, the beginning.
when Gohan dies.
Yeah. Oh, man. I know.
That was so hard.
It was horrible. I know.
There you go. Yours.
For me, I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite. I really like all of it. All of it. I think it's epic from the beginning. What I didn't go crazy for actually is Dragon Ball Super. I was expecting a bit more.
Never really saw it.
I don't know. I was like, And then they told me, which I don't know if it's true, but apparently GT, I don't know if you ever watched it, that basically he goes back to being a kid and there is the niece, Pam. That's basically the daughter of Gohan and
Okay, yeah.
the daughter of Satan.
Yeah.
Basically, that GT, that Dragon Ball, is not actually in the original series. It's something that the fan made up. And I was like, there is absolutely no way. I was like, really? But apparently, I don't know, it wasn't in the originals. So technically, it's the first one when he's a kid, Zed, and Super. That's it.
Oh, really?
In the movies, I mean, in between.
Have when you're on social media, are you ever like consuming content about anime as well?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Have you ever been to, there's one called, with the little I know about anime, The Cage?
No.
Casual Anime Guy Explains.
I'm going to look it up.
Okay, so I'm a big fan. I'm not really into anime, but
it's funny. You're a big fan, but you know what?
no, I'm a big fan because he's a mate of mine. But he did this one video which really just blew my hair back. And he basically says like Gohan's rise is like amazing, and then suddenly just kind of drops off with Great Saiyaman.
Okay.
But his point was Goku loves to fight. When they were riding Gohan, they didn't, or maybe they did. Gohan doesn't love to fight.
No, exactly.
Gohan fights because he has to.
Yeah.
And because it's his duty, but it's not something he's passionate about.
Yeah.
And it just really like flipped my mind out a little bit because I'm like, yeah, he doesn't love it.
He likes to study and he wants to be
he wants to be a
researcher.
guy.
Yeah, literally.
But
That's
he has the potential to be the most powerful Saiyan in the universe.
such a waste for me. Such a waste. When I saw that, I was like,
that's what it is.
such a waste.
That's what it is.
But I feel like the mom pushed him into that, to be honest.
Into being a family guy.
Yeah, because I think at the beginning, he really liked it, but she was like, you have to study. You have to study. You have to study. Which I understand from the point of view because obviously the dad is never home, so who's going to bring in the money? But it also doesn't really make a lot of sense because then they push a lot of the fact that they don't have any money, but technically she's the princess of... like the daughter of the king of whatever.
Oh, what's his name? The Ox King? Ox King. Yeah.
So I was like, it doesn't really make much sense. You're supposed to be rich, but sure.
Yeah.
Like, not maybe as much as Bulma because she built the capsules and whatever. Yeah, so 100%. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like Kiki pushed them into that.
So you think Kiki held him back?
Yeah. And I think then he became his persona, basically.
That's really interesting. So you don't think it's his own free will that he just doesn't love to fight?
No, I don't think so. He's a Saiyan.
So when you see him, you see wasted potential when you see Gohan.
I do. And then there was Goten. Goten started off so well. Amazing. I was like, Goten is going to be the biggest one with Trunks. I was like, they're going to be the strongest one. Yeah. And then as adults, I was like, what happened?
Nothing.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable things. They're literally like doing absolutely anything.
But then you see Goku, who's not the best husband or the best father, but he just loves it.
He loves it.
He really loves it.
But he grew into it. Because I don't know if you ever watched the beginning. That's
No,
why
not
maybe
the
you
first
have
one.
never
No, I know
watched
it's the
it.
beginning, no.
The thing is, like, he basically was left by himself because his grandpa died. And his grandpa was into karate,
Okay.
martial arts, to be precise. So he taught him how to do martial arts.
Yeah.
And then from that moment, he was always by himself. But he never was into fighting until then he met Bulma, and they went on this journey together to find the 7 spheres of the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, then he started to like fight with people, and he loved it because he kept winning because he was good. And then he started training with the genius of turtles.
Yeah.
So then after that, he became even stronger, and then he met Krillin, which they became best friends.
Boys, yeah.
They started training together, and then there was this competition between them because they both loved it.
Yeah.
But then even Krillin, for example, then he decreased the thing of fighting, like quite a lot in Zed.
I want to give Gohan grace in this conversation because I think sometimes if you don't want to, I just feel like if Gohan was here, he'd feel really bad that he could have been and that he didn't. I think he deserves grace, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. It does. It does. I don't blame him. I don't
Sweet
blame him.
conversation.
But yeah, I agree.
Okay. So, considering that a podcast is likely now going to come out from your end,
Yeah.
I think you said you wanted to ask questions as well.
Yeah. Should we switch?
Do you want to switch?
Okay, let's
All right,
switch.
so the switch out. Here we go.
Okay, so
All right.
Diego, how did you start? Why did you start this company, Inspire?
It's 2 sides to it. One, when I was a little kid, I grew up in Australia, and I remember that I didn't really see many Latin Americans on TV, and I remember thinking that was fine, and I would watch American movies instead, and I liked what they wore, and so I would go into my stepdad's closet and take out anything that looked like what they wore, and I would play dress up basically. Really.
I love that.
Basically, I think sometimes people see themselves in characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think clothing can be a part of that, the building of that identity, if that makes sense. The part 2 of it is I was diagnosed with severe generalized anxiety disorder 2 years ago. And I spoke to my friend Nate about it, who's a part of our team. And I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I was worried that I suddenly wouldn't be able to one day. And Nate said, no, this is good, because now you know what it is. There's going to be space in your head. And that space is going to allow you to find a problem. And sure enough, watching TV, I realized there's so many outfits and so many cool dresses, and we watch social media and people are wearing things, and there's nothing that directly connects them to those things.
Mm-hmm.
And from like a machine learning AI standpoint, that's completely possible.
Of course.
And then like you with your manifesting, I put that out to the universe, and then out of nowhere,
Just came.
Luca comes into my life, co-founder. He makes everything look so easy.
I love that.
Luca, such a networker, brings in Dimitri. Dimitri's like, yeah, I can build that. What else? Then Nate comes in, and Nate's like, I'll talk to all the customers. And then, I don't know, it just kind of happened.
So would you say that it's better for you to have these like strong people next to you, or would you prefer to be by yourself, and why?
I like doing almost everything by myself. But this journey means so much to me. I read a lot of content that explained you need a team. And now that now that the universe has given me this team,
You're keeping it.
I understand why it's this team. Luca is so focused on technology all the time. Like, he doesn't let anything go by him at all. He's intensely focused on technology. If we have a meeting and how we're going to build this isn't accurately represented, he's unhappy.
Okay.
And and even when he's unhappy, he's completely productive in how he expresses his point of view. He's very clear. Dimitri, this guy comes up with the craziest ideas all the time. He's going to be an insane growth hacker. And he doesn't just come up with ideas, he can build all these ideas. And then every good team I've ever read about has that one guy who can pick everyone up. He's just got it in him to lift everyone up out of the slumps.
Yeah.
And that is Nate.
I love that.
Our product is not going to be amazing when it comes out. It's probably going to be rubbish, according to what books will tell you. But that's absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we have the right mission and we learn quickly from what users tell us, we will find the way to make it good, if that makes sense.
I love that.
And these are the guys to do that.
Okay. You said that you suffered of anxiety.
Sure.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
How does it still affect you day to day,
Yeah.
or it still affects you?
Yeah.
How do you manage it?
So luckily, when I got diagnosed, the NHS referred me to cognitive behavioral therapy through an organization, and I met some people there who also had their own challenges. So way one is we catch up once a month and we go for drinks and we chat, and we don't chat about anxiety, but if someone has something,
You listen.
we listen.
I love that.
It's a really safe space that's not about like, oh, like look on the bright
Judging or
side,
anything.
or
Yeah.
we're judging or giving advice. It's just, they just listen. You know, the cognitive behavioral therapy training teaches you to distinguish like what is the anxiety and what is you. You know how you talked about you listening to yourself?
Yeah.
And so that has also massively helped. And I think the last thing is, I don't often use it, but I have an amazing support network of friends.
That's amazing.
Knowing you have that network makes the whole thing a lot easier.
That's great.
Because I like to do things myself, I don't want to tell you.
Fair. How would you describe your work ethic and your work style?
Because so 1 year ago, I was working 18 hours a day, and it wasn't healthy for me. I have now cut that down. Currently for Inspire, I'll cap myself at 12 hours a day. So it has to be 12 hours of solid work though. So there's a timer, you know, bathroom breaks, lunch, that timer stops. That timer gets reactivated when I keep working again. Because I only have 6 months to do this before I might need a job again. So I have 6 months to make this happen with the guys. And I would regret it. So minimum 12 hours a day, 2 hours to fitness. So like running, and shortly the gym, hopefully, if I can keep up the habit. And I've allocated half an hour every day for something new, which I'm currently dedicating to learning how to do Cuban salsa.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's going to be super cool.
That's good.
When it's ready. It's not
That's
there
really
yet.
cool. To go back on what you said before, because I relate to that. Probably, I haven't been diagnosed with anxiety, but I had really severe attacks of it randomly for no reason. And it was probably the worst for me. And I do have a supporting system, but for me, nothing helped, honestly speaking. Like, I just had to sit there and wait for it to go away. And it can be uncomfortable if you're like in public situation, etc. What advice would you give to the public that's watching us, for anyone that suffers anxiety and doesn't have somebody that can listen to them? Because you're lucky that you have these people that relate to you, but not everybody has this luxury.
That's a really great question, because the thing that really helped me was a support system.
So would you recommend people to like go find it, even if it's just anything at all?
There are services. So again, like this is where we add like the disclaimers about like this is not like mental health advice or whatever. But so currently I'm unemployed. The app BetterHelp.
Oh, I know about it.
Has been really helpful for me, because they've offered, if you're unemployed, they give you like a slight discount.
I love that.
And in that app, they have this thing called support groups.
The group therapies, the group sessions. I know.
I went to one the other day. I've scheduled myself for like probably 5. I've cancelled 4. I was in a cafe and then I decided,
why not?
Just whatever. It was so nice.
I agree.
Total strangers. And the thing is, the one thing that something they've done very well is they've themed them very clearly.
Yeah.
So like when you're in there, you know everyone's kind of in your boat.
Yeah, because there is the one for depression, trauma. There are different ones, I'm aware.
I just came out of a very long-term relationship, and that was hard. And everyone in that group
was like there to help you out.
One guy joined the call, and he was like, "Oh, I was meant to get married, and my wife left me yesterday." And I was like,
wow.
well, I'm going to take my problems,
You know, this literally happened to me too. It's
Really?
when you listen to them, you're like, actually, maybe I listen to them.
What am I complaining
Exactly
about?
my thought when I joined this
Yeah.
group session. It's healthy. It's really healthy because it keeps you on check.
100%.
I agree with you.
And obviously, like, I know just to make it clear to anyone listening, I know very well that when you say that, you're not saying, oh, like, devalue yours compared to someone else, because there's no measuring stick on this thing.
Of course not.
But there are moments when you hear stuff like that and you're like, another person who joined this call, said she was afraid that she'd go into another relationship and not pay attention to herself enough, you know. And then one guy jumped in and he's like, I'm afraid of that now too, because I don't know how to pay attention to myself enough. And it was, you know, by the end of it, like, I just said to everyone, I'm just so glad I met you all. We'll probably never meet again, but it's just lovely, you know, like humans just having that opportunity to connect, you know.
I fully agree on that. I had one session where I don't remember what it was exactly. I think it was like burnout or something of the kind. And everybody was expressing how hard it is in their career. And everybody had different aspects, which, funny enough, it was all like replicated for me. So one was in business, one was in fashion. Like, and I was like, I can relate to all of you guys. And this girl said something that stuck with me because the therapist, there is basically a general therapist, for who doesn't know, that normally like leads the sessions or put out questions or make you speak. And she said, does anybody have any advice? And this girl said, actually, there is this quote that I heard that I think you all should hear. And she said, you need to listen to this. She said, every day you're good, some days you're phenomenal. And I was like, yes. Like, as someone that overworks herself, I was like, yeah, because I tend to judge my work, etc., but it's super true. Every day I'm good, but some days I do better than the other days. And that stuck with me. So I agree. It's really nice. I'll never see her again, but if you, by any chance, watching this, just know that you made a really difference. So, yeah, completely. So definitely. Okay. And would you say that it still affects, does it affect the way you work on, or do you manage to keep it separate?
I think it does affect the way I work, but I let it on purpose because I know that the challenges that I'll experience, every challenge, it's kind of like, at least my journey, the way it's been is I'll mature into a challenge. So once a hurdle's been crossed, I'm quite good at mapping out what it was and crossing that hurdle.
Love that.
And I also don't believe that if you listen to like Diary of a CEO, for example, a lot of leaders have to overcome hurdles at the very beginning.
Of course.
And so just like you said, if I did Premiere Pro for X amount of hours every day, I'd be a monster at it. If I give myself space every day to overcome my own challenges, internally, my body will support me in the direction I want to go.
What's your biggest challenge that you had to face? Generally speaking, could be anything.
The biggest one was probably work related. I'm now a permanent resident of the UK. Before that, though, I was on a visa.
Okay.
And I also worked in sales. So when you work in sales, you have to hit a number. And if you don't, technically you're not doing your job, which means your visa and the ground from under you can be completely ripped away.
That's horrible.
Right? Which is why the 18-hour days.
Fair.
But he's a very good friend of mine. He was my manager. Now I've resigned. But he really listened to me.
That's good.
And like really like have you ever seen Good Will Hunting?
Yeah.
Okay. You know the It's Not Your Fault bit?
Oh, yeah.
He basically did that to me until
I love that.
I said all this stuff. I said things like sometimes I want to hide in the bathroom and close the door because if I step outside, I'll have to work or I'll have to sell or something. And he listened to me for like half an hour. And then we had a workshop. And in that workshop with like the senior leadership, he basically changed the structure of my role and got all the things that were stressing me out of my way. And just gave me total focus. And that immediately increased my productivity, my average order value, my deal flow, everything went up. And it was because
that's amazing.
This guy took the time to do that.
And I think it's really important to like emphasize how important it is to have someone that you look up to, and like he's actually a good leader and not a horrible manager. I think that's crazy important.
He's an incredible manager.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, how would you describe yourself in 3 adjectives?
Hungry. Determined.
Like that.
The last one, strange word, but I'll say it anyway. Frustrated.
Frustrated?
Yeah.
How come?
There are a lot of things that need to get done. A lot of things. The team that we have is a really good team, and I'm very aware of that. And this is literally one of those, like, the team is here. I feel I'm here. And I see all of this that needs to happen for us to where we get to. But I also know that I can do that.
So would you say that, do you more live in the moment or do you look up at the future?
I would say I live in the moment.
Okay. But
in the moment, I'm constantly thinking about the future.
Then you're living in the future. You're not enjoying the moment.
Yeah. Whoa. All right. Very great. I see you with your knowledge. Yeah. No, that's a really good point. Yeah. No. Okay. Cool. You're right. I live in the future. Yeah.
Okay. Last questions to like fire it up, and then we close the session.
Sure.
First of all, feedback. How am I?
Smash it.
I'm good.
Really? You were getting me to talk a lot. This is
good.
about you, so you could kill.
Good. So 5 questions.
Yeah.
Top 3 movies that you like.
Creed 1, Rocky 1, Step Up.
Ooh, Step Up! I like Step Up. That's good choice.
That was the Vegeta moment when I saw how he danced. That's why I don't know if I told you, I've been dancing since I was 18 years old.
Oh, that's so good.
And I'm really good too.
Are you?
But only because of Channing Tatum.
Fair enough. What style?
Street dance.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And a real life hack is if you're into street dance and you're into freestyle, if you go to the National Theatre on the top level, you basically have like a penthouse view of the entire city. And security will let you put a speaker down and dance. So
no way. Oh, really?
Ultimate dance studio.
I had no clue.
Right at the top of London. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Guys, don't go there. I have to book it.
It's fine. Yeah.
I'm curious now to see you dance. Okay. Top 3 favorite foods.
Chicken pesto fettuccine with a little rocket on the side. Lomo saltado, which is a traditional dish from Peru. And my grandmother, who has now passed away, would make this stew.
Okay.
It's a stew that my auntie Elena has tried to replicate for years. We've all acknowledged that
She cannot do the same.
because the secret ingredient was love,
I love
it's
that.
never going to be the same as the way Nonna made it. So.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. And what advice would you give yourself a year from now?
Just go. Just keep going. It's a family motto. Great grandma said it to grandpa when he got a visa to live in America. She had taken all the money he'd given her. She had never spent it. She gave it to him. And she said, "Lánzate." Lánzate means throw yourself forward. He said that to my mom. My mom said it to me. It's like a family motto. Just go. Whatever it is, just go.
Love that.
Yeah.
What about if you could give an advice to your past self a year ago?
Oh. I would just say, I've got you. And I'd give him a hug.
Oh, that's cute. That's really cute.
Too good at this, man.
That's really cute. Okay. Any advice that you have for the public? So we can wrap it up with that.
Yeah. I would say anyone who wants to start a podcast, wants to be a model, wants to be an actress, wants to be
Content creator.
a content creator, and I won't say the next Meryl Streep because you will be the first Marygrace Tropeano.
Oh, that's really cute. Thank you. Thank you.
Just do it. Go get
I agree.
it.
Just do it. You got it. Just remember that you're a bad bitch. That's it.
Yeah, remember you're a bad bitch, guys.
Cool. Bye.